What is up, my Lorcana Goons, and welcome back to the Lorcana Goons channel. My name is Kevin. You're watching the Monday Weekly Market Watch, where we go over Lorcana news, meta trends, and card prices. And we have some pretty cool news to start off today. If you guys are doing any purchases on the official Disney store, you get a free pack of Into the Inklands here, which is kind of funny because I know a lot of us have been seeing those like $60 Into the Inklands booster boxes, and I've been kind of talking about how I think they really overprinted this set. But check this out. If you put anything into your bag at the Disney store, you automatically get this added to your purchase for free. It's a bonus pack of Into the Inklands, and this is going to be from March 24th all the way till April 6th. So if you just want a free pack or something, or if you know anybody who might be interested in Lorcana, you can let them know. If you buy anything from the Disney store, whether it's Lorcana products, plushies, and collectibles that they have on there, it just automatically adds to your bag a one free pack of Into the Inklands, which is also a pretty cool way to promote the game. I'm pretty sure a lot of people have never heard of Lorcana who are very much into Disney collectibles or Disney store items, and when they receive their package, they might, or they are going to get a free pack of Into the Inklands. Hopefully they open it. They'll probably see some enchants pulled out of that. So there you go. There's some value right there for any Lorcana goons who want to get some free stuff from the Disney store. And I want to give a huge shout out to Mix Up Marco for messaging me on Instagram with this news. He's one of our Patreon supporters and Lorcana Goon subscribers. So if you want to be a supporter as well, we have the links in the description. You can join our Discord. And thanks for the information, man. If you guys ever see some news, like, feel free to DM me on Instagram, Discord, just at Lorcana Goons, because I want to share the news with the community. But this is the Market Watch, so I want to talk about some pricing updates that we got going on today, because the first chapter sealed booster boxes are now selling for more than $400. And we saw this last week. I didn't really bring it up on Friday just because there was only one sale that was at $400, and I was thinking, maybe it was just a fluke. Maybe it was one person taking an interest in it. But check this out. From the beginning of February, they were at $330. Today, the market price is $370, with the most recent sale being $404 right there. Japanese booster boxes are still selling for around $60 to $65, which is still a pretty good deal. But first chapter English booster boxes, $399, $400. That's going to be the asking price now. Some even selling for $450, which is still pretty high. There are a couple listings available. I can't say 38 because this includes the Japanese listings, but on the second page, lowest verified is going to be by APAC seller, 425 with $5 shipping. That's 430. Then Rose Sage TCG for $130 as well for your first chapter sealed booster boxes. So if you guys see these in the wild, less than 400, that might be a deal. Just letting you guys know, these are slowly creeping up more and more. And it's kind of interesting because we did find first chapter restocks at like Target and stuff like that, but they're blister packs, you know. So if you want a first chapter booster box, I don't think you're ever going to get those ever again. And I think a lot of people are starting to realize that these aren't really available. If they do first chapter restocks, it's looking like they're just going to come in the form of loose packs or blister packs. Packs that we've been winning at events like the DLCs. You weren't ever able to get a booster box or anything like that unless they had them available at side events, and even at nationals, if I'm not mistaken, they didn't even have any more sealed booster boxes available for side event pricing. The single packs themselves still have a market price of about $13 to $15. I'm pretty sure after tax you pay these, it's going to be about $15 each per pack. So that's about the average. So it's a lot cheaper than buying a sealed booster box, right? If you just want to buy some loose packs online. But you know, having that sealed booster box is kind of what gives me the feeling of wanting to pull an enchanted. You know what I mean? It's maybe even a sealed case might give you the higher chances of getting an enchanted. So those prices are going to be a little bit more expensive as opposed to just buying a loose pack. But since we're on the topic of booster boxes, let's talk about Arcasia's Island. We are in the second week of the official release, and these boxes have not come down in price. Just like I've been telling you, I did not expect these to come down any lower than $120 today. Lowest verified is going to be $129 with 80 cents by Light Grocery. These are $130 boxes. Now the MSRP for Lorcana is about $140 for the box, so it's still cheaper than MSRP, which is awesome to see if you want to save some money, because buying them at your local game store is probably going to be a little cheaper than finding loose blisters at Target, because at Target pricing you're going to pay those MSRP prices, but at your local game store you'll probably still find them for close to $120, $130, maybe even $5 a pack. But personally, I've been seeing a lot of people sell these for anywhere from $130 to $145 MSRP. The set is good, a very impactful set. A lot of people are playing Sapphire, so you kind of want to pull those Tamatoas, those Scrooge McDucks, etc. But it's not just the enchanted, it's not just the legendaries that are good in this set, it's the enchanted rares too. And I think that's why this set is so popular. There's like 5 enchanted rares that are still worth $100. Bolt Superdog being one of the ones I want to talk about today, because there's only 4 listings left, and we watched this card Opening day sell at around $98 to as low as $95, and today lowest verified is now $115. Basically, Collectors Cove TCG 113 with $1.22 shipping. Most recent sales are 99, 107, 101. So if you wanted this card for less than $100, I don't think it's going to be available, at least not anytime soon, for that price. Bolt is a playable card in Amber Steel. There's some pretty cool Amber Steel strategies that are using this Bolt Super Dog, and honestly, this artwork is just cool. The enchanted artwork from this set, I'll say it time and time again, they outdid themselves. I really appreciate them. I know a lot of people really want to pull those enchanteds too, so it's going to be pretty hyped up in terms of what the box prices are going to be, especially if people want these hard-hitting enchanteds. Hyped up or deserved? Well, let me know what you guys think. Are you guys excited for these boxes being MSRP, or would you prefer the Inks of the Inklands pricing of $70 per box, or Ursula's Return / Azurite Sea? Because those boxes still sell for less than $100 or around $100, and they didn't really go up. You know what I mean? Azurite Sea was a little bit lackluster. I didn't like the enchantments from there, and the set was good in terms of like cards and whatnot, like how it impacted the meta, but there wasn't that many hard-hitting legendaries. So that set right out the gate was already selling for around 100 to 110 a box, whereas this one, like I'm saying, you're gonna have to pay at least $130 for your sealed booster boxes of Arcasia's Island online anyway. So if you can find your local game store selling them for a little bit cheaper, that's awesome. This is the chase from the set, if you didn't know. Tamatoa Happy as a Clam, still selling for $400. Really awesome to see. Modern Tabletop has them for $404 with 99 cents. I love seeing expensive cards in this game when they're enchanted rare anyways. Obviously, as a competitive player, I like the fact that I can build a competitive Lorcana deck for relatively cheap prices, but obviously if you want to play Sapphire right now, it's going to be pretty expensive. If you want to play an enchanted Sapphire deck, you're going to have to spend at least $1,000 on your playset of Tamatoas. But if you're someone who just likes ripping packs, someone who's just collecting, this is an awesome chase to have in the set. You know what I mean? If you buy one box, if you win a box at your local game store and you pull a Tamatoa Happy as a Clam, I know you're going to be happy as a clam. And I like that the game has this potential, you know what I mean? It has the potential to have like a competitive meta space to dictate some good legendary pricing. And then it has some collectability for some of these enchanted, some that are super playable, some that are not so playable, but still selling at good prices. My biggest thing is that I would still like to see more rarities in the boxes and in the box ratios or something, so that we're not all only chasing for enchanteds, because I know a lot of people who don't play the game at all, they only collect, they don't know what the hits are, they don't know which legendaries are good because they don't play the meta. They don't know, what's the differences between a cold foil from the first few sets and the foiling from this set and whatnot. And really, the only way they can tell they got a hit is when they have a full art, and that's the enchanted basically. So the enchanted ratios are really tough. I know on some casual collectors who just want to open packs. I hear all the time when people come pick up Lorcana from our location, they often say, yeah, I only open the packs every now and then just because I'm like a small collector and I've never opened an enchanted, and it hurts. It hurts because I want them to be happy. I want them to be excited when they open Lorcana. You know, sometimes they want to buy a full box, but they're like, oof, what if I spend the 130 and there's no enchanted, you know? And I can't let them know there's some hits in there. You can get a Bagheera, you can get a Tamatoa, but to them it doesn't mean the same thing, right? People want the enchanteds. But let's talk about another enchanted that has been going up due to the meta relevance, the Queen Diviner. This card was selling for as low as $55 in March, on March 12th. That was like the market price, right? And then for them selling at around $53 on March 13th, March 17th, March 19th, we have another sale for around $90. Check this out. Most recent sale was on the 21st. Somebody bought 4 of them for $94.98. The day before that, $94. It used to be $75, $68, $60, but all those are gone now. There's 24 listings, and the lowest verified starts immediately at $90. ML Card Quest, shout out you for this lowest verified price. Queen Diviner, you can play this in Sapphire Steel. Shout out Carlos Lara. I played a tournament this past weekend, and my opponent round 1 was the homie Carlos, and he's playing the Queen Diviner in his Sapphire Steel deck, and it was pretty spicy. It was hitting. It's a good card to play on turn 3 if you don't have a good curve going. And if you don't go Tipo into Scrooge, you can always go like Popsicle, turn 2 something into the Queen Diviner or something. And it's a nice card. It lets you grab some items from the top of your deck. If you're already playing Scrooge, that's another card in your deck that'll fetch you items. Really, what I like about this card is I like the Queen as a character, so I like playing enchantments as well, and I like that this was cheap. It is getting a little expensive, so if you had your playsets of Queens for your Sapphire Steel deck, hey, you were ready to go. Now you don't have to spend $90+ per Queen when they were at least 50 to 60 before. Not much new news in terms of the Elsa Spirit of Winter Enchanted, other than that there is a recent sale for a PSA 9 that sold for $980. Really awesome to see. The other sale before that was a raw for less than 900, and usually the PSA 9s have a very similar pricing to the raw pricing from what I've seen. But lowest verified is 925 by MJ's Collectible, then 950 by Collector's Cauldron. Last time I looked at this, there wasn't that many listings at less than $1,000, but today we have a couple more sellers that have it for a little bit more of a reasonable price. So if you don't want to pay $1,000 yet, you can still find these Elsas for around 9 to 950 on TCG Player, maybe even cheaper on eBay. But if you want to get them graded, get them slabbed, it might be a little bit it might be a little bit better for you to find them in person or find a seller that has pictures. That way you can kind of eyeball it yourself. And the last enchanted I want to talk about today is going to be Aerial Sonic Warrior. This card has just been coming down in price constantly. It's never really shot up in price since its release in what was Ursula's Return. The Ursula's Returns enchanted were really cool. A lot of people didn't like them though because the backgrounds were just kind of black and looked a little spooky. I thought it was pretty nice though. Overall though, this card was selling for around $200 when it first came out, and as of even more than 200, around 250. And as of recently, it's hitting as low as 140. So Goat Card Shop has the lowest verified. They have 4 of them for you at 140 each. The reason I bring this up is because I've been seeing people play this in their Sapphire Steel decks, Amber Steel decks, because you can shift it on Aerial. And we're in a heavy steel meta right now, and this card is pretty relevant. I don't remember your name, sir, but we played at the tournament this Saturday. I think it was round 5, round 6. He was playing Amber Steel, I was playing Purple Steel, and he shifted this Aerial on me, and it just completely ended the game. 2 times. The games 1 and game 3, he had Aerial Sonic Warrior. Every time he played a song, he got to pay the extra ink to deal 3 damage to one of my characters, and all of a sudden my Foxes, my Peets, all of my Smees, they were all just getting banished by this Aerial Sonic Warrior. Don't sleep on this card. I think it's pretty good. The non-enchanted versions are still extremely cheap, but the enchanted version, it's the lowest it's ever been. And I think people are going to start playing this card again. So if you have this card in your binder or something in your collection, keep it. Don't get rid of it yet, at least not anytime soon. And if you're an Amber Steel player or enjoyer, or maybe you're playing Sapphire Steel, you might want to try that card in your deck just for some friendly gameplay tips right there. Let's talk about the most expensive legendary in Lorcana right now. This is going to be Tamatoa Happy as a Clam. Chog's Lorcana cards has the lowest verified at $55. This card's still sitting at more than $50. I think the highest it was at was 60 to 65. I'm glad it kind of came down a little bit, but I don't think it's going to be less than 50. Like I've been preaching for the last couple market watches, even though we've had the big box retail release and there's more of these in circulation, realistically, this card's just played in multiple decks, and it's going to be a card that can be played in future decks as well, so I don't think it's really going to come down in price. I do think the cold foils are going to be pretty cheap though, because we have enchanted for this card, and usually when we have cards that have an enchanted and a non-enchanted version, the non-enchanted cold foils tend to be a little bit cheaper. So these cold foils are selling for less than $80 now. Yeah, these have been coming down in price, because in the first week they were as high as $90 for the cold foil, and right now $72.99 is what you got to pay for a cold foil Tamatoa Happy as a Clam. It's about $20 more for a cold foil than a non-foil, right? And I think that's because there's an enchanted rare. So if you want to have the max rarity version of your deck, you need the enchanted rare, not the cold foil. And I'm pretty surprised, because some of these cold foil legendaries in the past that are extremely meta relevant have hit highs of like $90, $100. I know we saw Rapunzel even at $120 at one point, but that is from the first chapter. Maybe it might take some time before Tamatoa sees some heights like that. Maybe some more meta decks need to be in circulation that play Sapphire before Tamatoa hits those high prices. So $70 for a cold foils doesn't seem too bad to me, at least compared to a $400 enchanted rare, right? Scrooge McDuck, very relevant this format. These are selling for $25 still. Nox Cards has the lowest verified. Then Multi-Monster Deal, shout out you guys, has them for $26.65, right? And I think this card's going to keep going up, because the next verified seller is at $27 already. Last week when we looked at this, they were a little bit less than $25, and this weekend has shown us some interesting tournament results. I've been seeing a lot of blue-red on my timeline that is playing this Scrooge McDuck. Sapphire Steel was already playing this Scrooge McDuck, but now you're going to tell me that Sapphire Ruby's also going to play this card. Shout out Jonathan Martinez, and Izzy and all the other homies playing blue-red with this card. I do think that there's a lot of use case with the Scrooge McDuck Resourceful Miser in your Sapphire decks that aren't necessarily just Sapphire Steel. So if you're a Ruby Sapphire enjoyer, try this card out in your deck. It's really good. And I know we just had the Charlie's collectible show event that happened this past weekend, and those deck lists are out too, and you're going to see this card pop up in a variety of different deck lists. Cold foils for this card are selling for $46, almost $50 again. In the beginning of the set's release that first week, they were around $50 to $55, and they kind of came down a little bit, but again, I don't think that's going to last. Cataclysm Games has them for $46, shipping included for your cold foil Scrooge McDuck, the Resourceful Misers. Need to give a shout out to the homie John for getting top 8 at that 90 plus player tournament that we had this weekend. I got destroyed. I went like 3 and 4 in terms of the 7 round day of matches. My friend John, shout out you again, playing Green Steel with Pirates and Diablos. He actually drove us all there, so thank you for that. I really appreciate that because the drive was like an hour away, but it was worth it. It was worth it because he walked away with like 3 boxes of Arcasia's Island. Yeah, man, he was playing Green Steel with Diablo, and I think Diablo's still a very good card. I know Traverse Tavern, shout out you guys. They have a YouTube channel. They did really well at the Charlie's Collectible Show, and they were playing a green-purple Diablo deck, so don't sleep on Diablo, man. This card's still very powerful this meta, and I do think that the market is kind of showcasing people's interest again because they've gone from 20 to 25 all the way to $30 again. Lowest verified is going to be $29.70. Pandemic Quest TCG, shout out you guys once again. I love seeing you guys having these low prices. Thanks again for reaching out on Instagram. You guys are awesome. Be sure to support them if you guys can. Follow their Instagram. It's just Pandemic Quest. Gamer's Choice next verified at $30 with the $30.98. Multiple sellers have multiple of them too, so that's pretty cool because you can get them all from one seller if you want a playset of your Diablos. But if you're looking to play an anti-meta deck that isn't necessarily Sapphire Steel and you don't want to spend $50 on Tamatoas with $60 on Tamatoas with $25 Scrooges, maybe consider getting an Emerald style deck where your legendaries are only about $30 each, right? And if you like shiny cards, the cold foil Diablos are basically the same price from these non-verified sellers right here. You can get them for around $30 to $33. Lowest verified for a cold foil is $30 with $5 shipping. That's pretty close to the same price as a non-foil, but this card does have an enchanted rare similar to the Tamatoa situation, so if you want the highest rarity you need the enchanted, but $5 more for a shiny bird instead of the non-shiny, I think that's a good deal. We got to talk about Flavorsham, the toy maker. Because of the rise of Sapphire, even this card, a rare from set 2, has been just shooting up in price. These used to be around $1, $2 even was the market price at one point. Today, the market price is $4.75. Most recent sale is $5. Lowest verified is $5.74 by Gamer's Choice. They have 5 of them for you, but that's really close to $6. Personally, if you have Hiram Flavorshams in your trade binder, these are $6 cards right now. So make sure you're valuing them very correctly. If you're doing trades with the homies or at locals or something, or if you need to pick up some Hiram Flavorshams, I don't know, maybe get them soon because this card just keeps going up. You know, I haven't seen this card this expensive in a long time. I feel like when this card first came out in set 2, Red Blue was pretty hyped up, and the card was pretty expensive, and it just came crashing down because, you know, people weren't really finding success in Red Blue in set 2, and then even the set 3, set 4, when Red Blue was at its peak, this card still wasn't too expensive because you can actually find this card in, I believe, the Gateway. I believe it comes out in the Gateway or something like that, but it's in the starter deck. There you go. It's a starter deck card. That's what it is. As time goes on, there's less and less accessibility to starter decks, and even Rise of the Floodborn. This is the second set, and it's already been a year plus since that set came out, right? So I do think that as time goes on, some of these cards become a little bit more expensive because they're a little bit harder to find. Cold foils are sitting at more than $20. I like that they've been kind of chilling at this $25 to $30 mark. Lowest verified is going to be $27.99 by TN Collectors. Then Kayfabe Cards has them for $29.27. Almost $30 for your Hiram Flavorsham cold foils, which is not too bad, right? I really want to talk about Gontu, the Experienced Enforcer. I think this card is so cheap. It's only $2.88, lowest verified with $1.31 shipping, and that's a super rare from the new set. Super rares tend to be really cheap in this game, and I think this card is very good in the current meta. So if you want to combat the opponent's Sapphire strategy, maybe consider adding more Gontus to your deck, especially right now that they're cheaper than $5. The cold foils, you can find cold foils at less than $10. Look at that. $9 with $1.75 shipping by Goblin Town Gaming, and some non-verified sellers have them for a little bit cheaper right now. They're gonna start picking up a little bit more in pricing as you scroll down. They're at like $10.75 with 75-cent shipping by Loco House MTG. But like I was saying, I think this card's pretty good. I think this card might be some of the best ways you can counter the current item heavy meta, right? Next up, we got Pete Games Referee. This card just shooting up in price too. I think this card's getting better and better every format, and I think so does the market. They used to be less than $1, now they're selling for around $2 almost. Lowest verified is going to be Gamer's Choice, $120 with $1.31 shipping. They have 184 of them, so that's not going to change anytime soon, but some of these sellers are getting very close to $2 with extra shipping. Personally, if you have these, the non-foils like sitting around, maybe put them in your trade binder because these are around $2 each now, and these cold foils, wow, look these cold foils. These are really shooting up. Oh my goodness. These are going to be $14 by Local House MTG, lowest verified, then $16 by Physics. Shout out you guys. So this is like a $15 cold foil. The market price is actually already showing $16. So $16 cold foil Pete's, man. Love where this is going. Yeah, blue and steel cards are just going up and up. Even the Calhoun, the Marine Sergeant, Calhoun the Goon, lowest verified, $13 by Heroes Quest. Love to see it. If you picked up your Calhouns at less than $10 and you were watching the Market Watch, you got to give us a shout out, because I've been talking about Calhouns for like the last month, saying that these were $7. I'm still surprised they were cheaper than $10, and now you're going to have to pay more, around $12 to $13 for your Calhoun Marine Sergeants, and cold foils are pretty expensive now too. This is like the new Genie. Genies were like $15, $20. The cold foil genies were like $30 almost. And look at this. Calhoun's getting there too. Spawn's Shop has them for $24.72 with $1.31 shipping. Then it's $26 with $1 shipping by Tier 1 Gaming Nash. At least $25 for cold foil Calhoun's. Love to see it. That's going to be enough for some meta trending cards this Monday. Be sure to check out all the content creators who are covering the meta tournaments that happened this past weekend, and including myself. I'm going to try and make some videos after this. I want to talk about the promo, the Lilo Escape Artist promo from the gift set that you can find at Target now and your big box retailers. These were selling at around $15 in the first week of launch, and now they're a little bit cheaper. $12 is what you can find them at. Lowest verified is going to be foil daggers at $11.19 with shipping included. That's a really good price. Nox cards is going to be $9.92, $127 shipping. Shout out you guys. Market price is $12, but the lowest verified is closer to $11. So that seems like a nice deal right there. I like these promos a lot. I'm kind of glad they're kind of coming down in price too, because it's going to be a little bit more accessible for people. But if you buy those gift sets, you get a nice little $10 card too, right? And speaking of promos, we got to talk about these Anna Braving the Storm promos. If you don't know what this is, when Arcasia's Island came out, that first early launch week, you were able to go to Disneyland. I believe it was also the Disney store in Paris and the Hot Springs in Florida or something like that. And if you made a purchase of the new set, they gave you this promo. And I think you could just loop the line. So some people walked away with like play sets of this Anna Braving the Storm promo. You're actually able to get it signed to by a character or an artist. It has like this big gap and a little pen signature right there. Then that's what it's meant for. And these are selling for almost $100 basically. Check this out. On March 7th, we have a sale for $45.99. But then on March 23rd, two sales. One of them for $95, another one for $99. And if we're looking at what's available right now for this promo, you're going to be able to see that people are listing it for almost $200 now. We have some sellers right here for $195, and then another one for $104, another one for $99, another one for what is this, $180. Wow, shout out you guys. I mean, this is a come up, right? This is a really good card in terms of like collectability, because you cannot find it anymore. It was only available at that first week of launch at the Disneyland park. So personally, if you missed out on it, like me, because I missed out on it, you're going to be kicking yourself in the behind, because now I'm a little sad I did not go to Disneyland. And they announced that they were going to give these away like super last minute. Because I remember scrolling my news feed like the night before, like Friday, like Thursday night, and seeing like a post on like Twitter or something saying you can get this the next day if you bought your Arcasia's Island at the theme parks. And I was like, no way. Like I can't go. Like I had some other plans to do that morning, unfortunately, and it just meant that I could not go and get some of these, right? And I know they sold out really quickly too, because by the time I was done with working at Ninja Exchange, I wanted to pass by Disneyland and they were sold out of these, so I missed out on it. I hope you guys didn't miss out on it. If you have these, it's a pretty cool collectible, so maybe you want to hold on to it for a while, or maybe you want to take advantage of the what's going on and list them online for anywhere less than $100, see if you get some sales. But now it's time for our Monday segment, PSA Mondays. We're on the 130 point. This is a website that tracks recent sales from eBay, and we type in Disney Lorcana PSA 10 so we can take a look at some slabs, some Lorcana slabs. I know we have some slab enjoyers for Lorcana out there, so I want to make sure to give them the respects that they deserve. Check this out. A PSA 10 Belle Strange but Special from the first chapter, selling for $430. Very nice. Ooh, I like this one. Stitch the Carefree Surfer from the first chapter, selling at $650 for a PSA 10. Wow, that's really cool. The raw for this sells for around $240, if I'm not mistaken, maybe a little bit less. They're pretty cheap for the raw. So to see a PSA 10 almost triple the price, love to see that. Wow. That has me really hyped actually, because I have like 5 of these. I really like this card, but I have like a playset of these, and I think I'm gonna get this graded now. I think I'm gonna do my first Lorcana PSA submission, guys. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys get any PSA slabs or any submissions for PSA for Lorcana? Because this has me kind of hyped. I'm kind of curious now. Maybe I might just jump the gun, pick one of the ones I have, and just, try and see what happens. If I get a PSA 10, ooh, I will let you guys know. Some other cool enchanted slabs here. We have the Robin Hood Sharpshooter PSA 10 selling for $240. A enchanted Diablo Devoted Herald PSA 10 selling for 288 Canadian dollars, a little bit cheaper. That's around 240 USD. We have the Tigger from the Azurite Sea selling at $285 for a PSA 10. Love to see that. Some more first chapter enchanted for 450 Canadian dollars. That's around 350 USD. PSA 10 right there. Check this out. Oh, this is the D23 Cinderella Stout-Hearted PSA 10 selling for $70. That's a little cheaper than I would have expected on that one. Wow, look at this one. Donald Duck Pie Slinger. This is an enchanted rare from Shimmering Skies, selling at 230 Canadian dollars, so almost $200, 200 USD, which is really cool. I did not expect this one. Bad and On PSA 10, $72 in bids, and 28 bids, mind you. 28 bids for a PSA 10 Bad and On, and it sold for $72.58. That's pretty cool, because I know Bad and On is an enchanted. A raw enchanted is only about $30. So pretty cool to see that if you have some of these enchanted rares raw and you get them PSA 10, it might double the price for you. But yeah, all these that you're seeing are, you can see the dates right here. A lot of them are from just yesterday. And this is the first page, So a lot of PSA 10 Lorcana slabs do be selling online, and I love to see it. A first chapter Aurora Dreaming Guardian selling for almost $400 in a PSA 10. $389.99. And as time goes on, guys, especially with the first chapter prices going up and up, I think these could go up too, because it's going to be harder and harder to find the mint PSA 10 versions of these cards, especially when they're playable. A lot of people are playing with their enchanted Tamatoas, their enchanted Diablo Sisus, so that's going to make them not as minty. They might make them even light played, They might not get PSA 10 graded if you grade some of the ones that are played. So if you're collecting and you have some of these enchanted rares that are even playable, like the enchanted Elsa, maybe you want to get those graded right now. But that's going to be all for this episode of the Monday Weekly Market Watch. My Lorcana Goons, thank you so much for watching and supporting. I'm going to let you guys go now because I want to buy this gift set and receive my free pack of Into the Inklands. Shout out Big Sip Marco for letting me know about the deal once again. I really appreciate you guys. If you guys want to join the Goon Squad community, join our Discord below. I'm trying to be more active there, Hit that like, comment, and subscribe button if you want to support us there too. And we got Patreon, YouTube Premium, etc. if you want to support right there as well. But until then, remember to stay tuned to Lorcana Goons. I really want you guys to keep your eye on the first chapter booster boxes and the Arcasia's Island booster boxes, because this meta is just beginning, and I think these sets are very good. So if you guys are going to open any packs, I wish you guys the best of luck. Bless the pulls. If you guys do pull some enchanteds, drop them in our Discord. Can't wait to see it. But until then, we'll see you goons next time.